You're expecting to see how much you're going to charge for a round of golf. We don't recommend actual amounts. We do, however, will make a recommendation that the various charges for golf be reduced. And that's to encourage usage. Project scope and methodology, we toured the property, and anecdotally, I think I would like to say that you have a very nice facility here. We looked at your financial data covering periods from 2003 forward for operating performance. We didn't look at any reserve assessments or reserve issues. We obtained and reviewed organizational and governing documents. We read your community documents, obtained and reviewed board and finance committee and meeting minutes, reviewed strategic plan and related 2009 member survey, and we reviewed 2007 SWOT analysis. So we went through a lot of information. At some point, a lot of the information was kind of overwhelming. During the process, we interviewed the key personnel to discuss pricing sensitivity and the community culture. We facilitated member focus groups discussing pricing sensitivity and community culture. We prepared competitive industry benchmark data, and we published an annual publication. We've been doing it for 35 years called Florida Trends in Private Clubs, and that includes a special section on Sierra clubs or common interest realty associations, which is what you are. You didn't know that, you now know it. Apply benchmark economic matrix to heritage finds. We compared your financial results with that of the trends, and we made recommendations regarding optimal pricing parameters and the economic structure at heritage finds. And we made additional comments outside of the scope of the project based on observations and discussions. I think in general, we feel that from a financial standpoint, your community is well managed. There obviously is some issues, otherwise it would be. Okay, when we taught the community, we saw all of your facilities. They're listed there. This is as they're listed on your website. You didn't know you had all of that? Okay. You can take a look at that. You can also see that on the website. The next slide relates to the economic philosophy of the Asteras. We service all types of community designs. First of all, a traditional standalone club, membership by invitation, residential country club where there's a separate club entity with membership by invitation, separate HOA or homeowner association, mandatory membership, residential country club with mandatory membership where there's separate entities, but both require mandatory membership. And you're number 4, which probably is a good thing. We call you a large-scale association or SERA. Common Interest Realty Association, only one entity. Mandatory membership structure is implicit. That means when you buy a house, you're a member. Club amenities are essentially association common areas. And highly restricted non-resident usage is usually part of the package, which means you have no non-residents using the facility. Economic philosophy of Aspera. You file you're a taxable corporation under a special section of the Internal Revenue Code. You're a single-purpose entity. Again, mandatory membership is implicit in its design. You can have more than one class of members. You don't have that here. You really only have one class of members. You have a single board for governance. Generally more complex organizational structure. You have lots of little businesses businesses going on within the one entity. You do get some sales tax and property tax benefits, and it does require some planning for corporate tax. Bet you didn't know any of that. These are the economic philosophy, and I'm going to emphasize these items, economic philosophy of HPCA, and perhaps after this meeting you might want to go home and read your documents, but basically all property owners are entitled to enjoy the association's facilities regardless of whether they use any particular amenity or not. All property owners are responsible for maintenance of the facilities regardless of whether any particular amenity loses money or not. User fees are traditional for golf, tennis, and food and beverage, with pricing practices as follows. User fees set at a level to encourage usage, and in some cases, we see community design with no greens fees per resident. Cart fees, trail fees, and guest green fees. Some communities charge tennis guest fees, but no court fees for residents, and there's generally no fees for usage of the pool and clubhouse amenities, and we see this in the vast majority of theaters that are our client. Bill is up next.
Well, Phil Newman, pleasure to be here. Apologize for Bob's funny accent, but hopefully you'll be able to understand me. Whether you want to or not is a totally different question. Focus group themes. So really, what we're talking about here is still at a high level. The great focus group themes overall. We talked to board members. We talked to daily fee golfers, prepaid golfers, food and beverage, tennis, pool and fitness, and what was classified as non-amenity using residents. And any of you that were in the focus groups know that if you were in a golf focus group, we didn't just talk about golf, conversely food and beverage. We tried to, again, as Bob talked about earlier, tried to get more of a flavour for, generally what the feelings were about the community and amenities. So overall, and anytime you see a slide that at the top of the slide says focus group themes or focus group, that's what we have. That's, this isn't us saying this is what you guys or the people that represented the community in those focus groups said, and obviously it's always just a sample. We appreciate that, but these are the comments that came out. Generally, a lack of incentive programs to encourage the use of the amenities. Number of service issues and staff attitudes regarding serving the members were raised. Number of the members, homeowners discussed physical limitations limit our ability to use some of the amenities. Again, generally a lack of marketing to residents. Some discussion on we market more to outside events potentially than residents. And again, these are things that were said to us. Division in community driven by golf and the manner in which the board communicates. No consistent issues were raised other than golf and food and beverage. There really wasn't much came out apart from those two topics. That's probably not a surprise to anyone in this room. There was a question of the consistency of management in dealing with all the residents. And I think the fact that we have this comment up here, I think you should know that certainly there was no influence. We discussed things with your department heads, but apart from build up and facilitate, put some of the stuff together, there was no real heavy interaction with your general manager. It's our report. It bears us saying that. Again, a statement we heard was what is an amenity and what isn't causes conflict. There's a general resistance to amenity charges for other than golf and the restaurant, such as we don't want to pay for the pool, the pool for the pool,